Hello, I'm a Gambling Goose, and welcome to my Let's Play of Bethesda's Fallout 4. This is my first Let's Play, and we're going to be doing a role-playing playthrough. Now what that means is that I've created this character with his own backstory, and his own set of morals, and his own attitude. And the way that he's going to react to dialogue and situations in the game is not necessarily what I would pick, or what you would pick, or what's the obvious good or bad choice. It's what he would pick, based on his morals and his backstory. I've also used quite a few mods in the creation of this Let's Play. Many of them are graphical and weapons, with no large gameplay altering mods except for my alternate start. And the reason why I use an alternate start is because it opens up a lot of options when it comes to role-playing. The vanilla start kind of locks you into the story that Bethesda wrote and obligates you to play it. The alternate start gives you a lot more freedom in deciding how you're going to start and how you're going to play the game. If you'd like to watch the vanilla start, there are plenty of YouTube series that use it, and you can find them easily and you can enjoy them. I'm just trying to offer something a little unique and different. I'll post a mod list in my description so you guys can check out everything that I used. Anyways, let's get started. So this is the alternate start sequence. You'll see that it follows the same formula for creating your character as the vanilla start. Whoever you choose in this section and however you customize them, that's what your character is going to be in the game. This just isn't necessarily lore friendly in the fact that it's not keeping in time with the story, the original story of Fallout 4. However, it's not impossible by any stretch of the mind. So I'm not going to bore you guys with character creation for hours. We're just going to try to make somebody a little unique, and then we'll get going. Definitely some interesting choices for facial hair. That looks alright. That'll do it. So you'll see up top that I'm finding a bunch of radio signals. All that is a very, very nice radio mod. I'll post it in the description, along with all the rest of my mods. Really great. Doesn't break the immersion. Just a lot more variety, because the vanilla radio can get boring after hundreds of hours of gameplay. So this is the Infinite Answer is the name of the mod, and this is the alternate start. And this terminal decides the parameters for your alternate start, what faction you're going to be in, and some starting gear that you get. I'll open these up, and then when they're fully loaded, you guys are welcome to pause the video and read them. I'm not going to read them aloud to add fluff to the playthrough. So there are several parameters that you can pick. I'm certain that Ghoul is a work in progress. These mods aren't finished. The game's still quite new as far as modding is concerned. Soul Survivor is going to give you the vanilla start, and there's lots of other things that you can choose. None of them look particularly interesting. So the factions are where you can, are the real bread and butter of the alternate start. It's where you can choose basically where you want to start. And what this is going to do is it's going to complete sections of the main quest and initiative quests for those factions, so that you can basically start off as a part of those factions without having to go through the initiation. And that allows for some good options for role playing. Some of them aren't really viable. Raiders and Gunners are permanently hostile factions. You can't really join them, as far as I know anyways. So the playthrough that we're going to be doing is called the faction is the Brotherhood of Steel, and they're this futuristic organization that's based on reclaiming important technology from the nuclear wasteland so that society can rebuild. We're going to start off as a knight. So if you've played through the vanilla game, that is your indication that basically that text blip, that basically you've completed the initiative quest for the Brotherhood of Steel. And that's all that is. So it says protocol loaded, please exit, so the game is ready. Oh, I hope I didn't just cancel it. We'll go back and make sure. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to be a moral good guy. So this is the Fallout 4, or basically every Fallout formula for creating how your character is going to be. It's called special. These are all the basic attributes that you can choose from. So you only have so many points to distribute. So you choose to be okay at everything or mediocre at everything. You choose a few things to be good at and a few things to be not so good at. So as a knight, you're going to be strong, perceptive, we're going to have good endurance, we're going to be able to talk to people, relatively smart. Everything goes up to 10, by the way. Little agility, little luck. Everything at 5 gives you a decent starting point, but we're going to take a nice general approach. We'll call him Alex. That'll work. So the alternate start doesn't just drop you off in the wasteland. It gives you some equipment to wear, some armor, things to start you off with, some chems. We're gonna take everything. It's all useful. And this is your protocol specific locker. This is giving me all of my Brotherhood of Steel gear, my power armor, my uniform, things like that. Some grenades, standard laser rifle, pretty standard for Brotherhood of Steel. Now the thing about Infinite Answer is it's really neat, because if you had played the vanilla game and you had completed those quests, you would have leveled up a few times from killing the enemies and getting the experience from the quests. So they take that into account and they give you this holotape. What this allows you to do is you can adjust your level, and you can adjust several things basically before and slightly after the game starts. So we're going to apply any fixes. It does that automatically. This is where you could set any factions to your liking. It's a little game breaking, but if you understand the nature of the alternate start and picking your own faction, it makes things a little easier. But of course, all the default options are where they need to be if you just want to jump in and start playing. So we'll start off at level 15. It seems fair. It gives you the chance to take those free levels later on if you'd like. Quest settings. Okay, so these are for DLC. We'll get into those in a minute. I don't have Nuka World yet. Someday soon. Alright. So let's level up. This is the basic, this is the perk system for Fallout 4. So, all of your perks relate to your special stats. And your special stats, depending on how lucky you are, for example, determine how far in the luck tree you could go. I only have 4 luck, so I can only pick the first 4 perks. Now, of course, every time you level up, you get to add a perk or add a star to any one of your special stats. And also there's multiple tiered perks that require levels. So you can't just become an expert medic right off the bat. You need to meet a prerequisite level. It's a balancing feature, and it works. It works. So as a knight, we're really going to want to be able to soak up that damage. So we're going to build up our toughness. And every time you level, you get 1 perk. So I have 12 more to go. We need armorer solely for the fact that modifying your power armor is what you're going to live and die by as a Brotherhood of Steel character. Gun nut, always good. Science is required to upgrade later power armor and energy weapons, so we're going to need to add some points into intelligence. Alright. We're going to be able to sustain a fight, so we want to be a decent medic. A lot of Fallout 4 is based on building settlements, so we'll add some charisma so we can unlock local leader, which is just absolutely essential to building a decent settlement. So that's the start of our build. We'll get to these damage mods, or damage perks rather, later. Early in the game, it shouldn't be too hard to take down any entry-level enemies. Of course, there's tons of different ways that you can play the game. Alright. So we're in the Brotherhood of Steel. Let's go put our power armor together. This is the crafting system. So you'll notice when I went into that locker on the other side of the room that I picked up a bunch of power armor, and this is a power armor frame upon which I can equip all of those pieces. The pieces have individual health, hit points, and hit boxes, so they'll get destroyed and worn down through use, and they can also be upgraded individually. Looks like they started us off with a fairly decent amount. You know, we didn't start off with base model armor, so we started off alright. Also have a legendary mod. So normally in the game, when you kill a legendary enemy, you get a randomly generated legendary piece of armor or equipment or weapon. This mod just allows you to take some very rare materials, for example, crystal gold, nuclear material, and silver, and craft a legendary modification yourself. It's convenient because farming randomly generated loot is tedious. It's absolutely tedious. The only way that you can describe it. We're gonna come over here to our bench. See if we can't beef up our laser rifle a little bit. So there's lots of mods, and they decide the way that you're going to use the weapon. I'm always a straightforward damage kind of guy, so we're going to have a little less ammo. We're going to have to make our shots count, but they're going to hurt more. So we're going to go with that. These change the way the weapon handles. Sniper barrel adds more damage, but it makes your short range capacity quite limited. A short barrel obviously does the opposite. We'll stay balanced with the long barrel for now. The sniper barrel adds quite a bit of damage, quite a bit of range, but it makes the gun a little heavier, a little cumbersome to use in close quarters. Change just about any aspect of the gun. So this is another mod. It's called see-through scopes. And normally in the game, if you have a scope with any kind of zoom, it takes over your entire field of view, which is incredibly annoying. So this just adds a little bit more immersion. I really like it. This is kind of going to be a medium range combat rifle that we're going to use. This turns it into a shotgun. This increases your damage and range. That's what we're going for. Oh, it looks like it didn't increase damage, but it did increase range. So now we have the range of the sniper barrel without having to use the sniper barrel. Changing the reticle. The see-through scopes is a great mod with tons of things to change. I'm just going to go with something simple. I don't want to bore you guys with this for too long. The crosshair is what's inked in, and the reticle is what's illuminated. Laser pointer, don't really care for it. Let's put a light on there. Well, let's not start off with a legendary weapon. Let's just get into the game. Go ahead and equip my Brotherhood of Steel stuff. Hop into our power armor. Now you'll notice the power armor is a lot different from the older Fallout games in the series. It used to just behave like regular apparel, but in this game it totally changes the way you play. You become this walking tank, totally unkillable. I mean, relatively unkillable. You come up against a legendary and you're not prepared, you'll probably still go down. But you get a new HUD, you take no falling damage. There's just tons of stuff that power armor does for you. So let's get started on the game. So we start off in the Pridwin, which is Fallout 4's headquarters for the faction that is the Brotherhood of Steel. So you'll notice it's saying that all these quests have been completed, and that's just the game going through its prerequisites to get me to this point. Those are the quests that would have been completed to get me to this point. So let's see. Go ahead and take our helmet off since we're inside. You can see your character. It's really nice. Fallout 4 is the first game in the Fallout series to feature a voiced protagonist, which is really neat. And they also changed the voice for whether or not you're in a helmet or not. You'll talk through a microphone and such if you're in it.
Paladin. There you are. How did it go with Elder Max?
Maxon seems so young compared to everyone else. You're okay with that?
Don't let his age fool you. Maxon's a brilliant tactician, a formidable warrior, and possesses an idealistic vision for the future of the Brotherhood. I'd follow him anyway, without question.
He's a very dedicated man. It sounds like he stands behind everything he's saying.
Of course he does. How could he afford not to? I just hope you appreciate how much of a chance I'm taking bringing you into the fold this quickly. Not to put too fine a point on it, but if you screw up, we go down together.
I won't let you down, Dance. I promise.
Good. Now, I know you're eager to hop into a suit of power armor and take the fight to the Institute. But first things first. In order to be an effective part of the team, you need to learn your way around this ship and get to know its crew. Since I've been officially assigned to you as your sponsor, I'd recommend taking me along with you.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Outstanding.
So if you're wondering who we were talking about, this Maxon character, in order to reach this point in the game, you will have gone up to the command deck of the Pridwin and talked to him. And you realize that he's the leader of the Brotherhood of Steel in this chapter of the game. So, basically, you answer a distress call and you help out the character you were just talking to, and you do some missions with him, and you build this loyalty and you build this rapport with him, and then he brings you into the Pridwin. He lets you into the Brotherhood of Steel, you get a suit of power armor, and you start doing missions with them. So now our objective is to find people and talk to them, so we'll activate that quest.
Proctor.
So, you're the new recruit I heard about. Huh, not what I was expecting.
Sounds like you're disappointed.
I'm not disappointed, just surprised. You don't look like one of the usual Wastelanders we'd pick up. Anyway, since you came down here to meet me, we may as well get it over with. My name's Ingram, and this lovely little grease pit is where you'll usually find me. If your power armor's too tight in the crotch, the Pridwin's about to crash into the ground, or a robot's gone haywire, you come see me.
Sounds like you have a pretty full plate.
Plate? Hell, I have a whole table's worth of duties around here. There isn't a day that goes by on this tub without 5 or 6 things breaking down. And since I'm stuck in this rig, I'm not quite as spry as I used to be. The work tends to pile up.
You feel like telling me how you ended up that way?
That's a little personal, don't you think?
Most people in your condition would have given up. I just wanted to hear your story.
Sure. What the hell? I was fighting with the Brotherhood in the capital Wasteland. Worked at a staging area for the power armor troops. Our position was along a ridge line overlooking the battlefield. I'd say it was a 100-foot drop, give or take.
Who were you fighting?
Super mutants. The damn things had wrangled a couple of behemoths and were marching on our main base of operations. To make a long story short, the ridge I was standing on took a hit from a nuke. Sheared most of the cliff right off, and caused the platform I was standing on to tumble over the side.
My.
If I hadn't been test piloting one of the power armor suits at the time, I would have died.
Your power armor helped you survive the fall?
Yeah, it took the brunt of the impact. But I don't know if I'd call it surviving. The suit was trashed after it landed, and I lost both of my legs. Haven't walked since. Anyway, I'm sure you're here to get your hands on some power armor. There's a pretty decent T-60 suit sitting in Bay 3 that's all yours. The left leg actuator's a bit sticky, but it'll keep the creeps off of you. Oh, and if you need any work done on it, feel free to use the workshops around here. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to work.
Alright, so it seems like she's pretty much the mechanic for the ship. Mechanic for the Brotherhood. Well, what's cool is I get 2 suits of power armor, so I guess I could stash this one somewhere and I could always come pick this one up.
If you run into the Sith, shoot to kill.
Tegan.
Step forward, Knight. Even though they've locked me in this blasted cage, I promised that I would find
looks uncomfortable in there.
It's not that bad. Now, this is the stowage depot, and I, as you probably already guessed, am the ship's quartermaster, Proctor Tegan. The powers that be have me locked in here, so I can keep an eye on the Brotherhood's valuables. If you need to stock up on supplies before you head out on a mission, this is the place to buy them.
That's good to know.
I'm glad you're the agreeable type. When I tell most of the new recruits that they have to buy their own equipment, they give me the stink eye. The good news is by having a constant flow of caps, I'm able to buy whatever you bring me. Yeah, I'm mostly interested in weapons, but I'll take anything useful. Of course, if you're just looking to make a few caps on the side, I might have some extra work for you to do.
I could use some extra caps.
You need them, and I want you to spend them here. It's a match made in heaven. Just involves a little bit of heavy lifting and interacting with the local farms. And since I'm stuck up here manning this one-man zoo, I need someone to do the legwork for me. After you're done with the meet and greet, we can discuss the details. In the meantime, if you ever need anything else, gun, mod, even ammo, you just let me know.
Liberating the Commonwealth is a huge responsibility.
So that's who we're gonna buy all our weapons from. Good to know where he's at.
Damn pharaohs. Radiation has a twisted sense of humor.
Glad you finally stopped by, soldier. Are you ready for your medical exam?
Sure. Go right ahead.
All right. I'm going to ask you a series of medical-related questions, and I'd like you to answer them to the best of your ability. First question. As a child, were you ever exposed to radiation for an extended period of time?
There wasn't that much radiation around before the bombs fell.
Before the bombs? What? Let me check my notes. You were a vault dweller. You're probably healthier than anyone else aboard. Anyway, sorry I missed that in your records. Just going down the list of questions. I'm sure you understand. Okay, second question. Have you ever had or come in contact with a person confirmed to be carrying a communicable disease?
Never been seriously sick in my life.
Good, good. Third question. And please, answer honestly. Have you ever had sexual relations with any species considered non-human?
No. Never have.
Very well. Last question. Would you have any problems pulling the trigger on an enemy of the Brotherhood, whether they're human, formerly human, or machine?
Alright, so this is a little bit of a role-playing question, and I'm gonna say no problem whatsoever, because this character is supposed to be loyal to the Brotherhood of Steel.
Excellent. I think I've got all the information I need. I see no reason to prevent you from beginning your duties immediately. If you ever need medical assistance, you let me know.
Ah, good. You'll find me here. Just set the books down anywhere. I'll get to them as soon as I can.
I think you're confusing me with someone else.
Perhaps I need to rummage through the supply bins for a new pair of glasses. Since it's obvious that you aren't who I was expecting, would you mind telling me why you're here?
Maxon wanted me to meet the crew, so you were next on my list.
Ah, yes. You must be the new recruit described in Paladin Dance's report. Under normal circumstances, I'd provide you with a proper... However, I'm woefully behind setting up research patrols and getting bombarded with requests for technical documentation. Unfortunately, I'm lacking the personnel needed to get the job done.
Maybe I can lend you a hand.
That would be splendid. As you patrol the Commonwealth, keep your eyes open for blueprints, memos, manuals, books, charts, anything containing useful technical data. I'm authorized to pay you for each bundle of documents that you recover. And if you wish to be assigned to a research patrol, I have plenty of them waiting to be filled. In any event, it was a pleasure to meet you tonight.
Alright, so it seems like just about everybody we've talked to has an opportunity for their own kind of quests to come up. Either gathering books or weapons or, you know, what have you. So it seems like we're going to be pretty busy around here. Let's see what's next. Oh, looks like we still have some leveling up to do.
All forms of technology should be confiscated or collected.
Like that? Split the difference there.
Let's go see what Elder Maxon has to say to us.
Now that you've familiarized yourself with the Pridwin's crew, are you ready for your next assignment, brother?
Just point me to the action.
I applaud your enthusiasm, Knight. Let's get right to it then. Shall we? Take a look over there. That's Fort Strong. And it's infested with super mutants. Having those aberrations of nature close enough to smell is making me sick to my stomach. To make matters worse, they're sitting on top of a massive stockpile of Fat Man shells we could use in our campaign. I want you to head over there, wipe out everything that moves, and secure that stockpile. Understood?
Alright, looks like we're gonna get into some action.
Consider it done.
Look, I realize you're eager to take the fight to the Institute, but it'll have to wait. The Brotherhood cannot allow those abominations to have a nuclear arsenal at their fingertips.
It'll be a pleasure to exterminate that mutant filth.
Now, we have a vertibird on standby, fully armed and ready to depart. Use it to carry our message to Fort Strong, and wipe those dirty mutants from the face of the earth. Dismissed.
Alright. Looks like we're gonna have our first combat mission. So before we get started, I'd like to cut it short so that I can keep my videos short. Alright, I've got my exposition out of the way, showed you guys who I am and what I have to offer, and in the next segment, I'll be offering up some combat gameplay and a little more story. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'd like to hear any feedback that you have, positive or negative, if you were totally uninterested or if you just couldn't follow. I really appreciate you guys checking out my video. I guess tune in next time, we'll go wipe out some super mutants. Alright, thanks guys.